Hi, hello, welcome to the stream. We're going to be making a game today and every day. This is day 6 or day 7, I lose track. Day 6. Yeah, I have my notes. Yeah, this is day 6. Oh, man, I really want this to just work. And then I want to test it. I want to play around with it. I'm tired of it being broken, and I don't want to cut corners to make it functional, but resisting the urge to cut corners is getting harder and harder every day. I have been spending a lot of time since the last stream, which was yesterday, looking at various things to fix. So something I did do was I added the mobs tile map layer. Theoretically, this is not like I didn't program it at all. I just created a tile map layer and I added the mob and I put one there and I put a few more over here. This doesn't do anything by itself. What we're gonna do, and we're not gonna do this today, but we're gonna do. Let me make sure that. I did write it here, so we might do it today. We're going to have a function when the server starts. We're going to call that function, and what it's going to do is it's going to go through every tile in this, and it's going to replace them with actual mobs using this mob spawner. And boom, we now theoretically have a way to paint mobs into the world. Not set in stone. We'll call that stage 1. I think we're gonna want to have like some respawning mob logic. We're gonna want to have maybe like variable spawner. Like sometimes a bat spawns here, sometimes something else spawns here. I don't know. We may want to have more complicated logic. We may want to have triggerable logic, like don't spawn anything here if X or Y, but start spawning things here if Z, This is stage 1. We're on stage 1. Okay. That's all I have to say, and then move on. I've also been looking at the navigation, the pathfinding. I also looked at how can we make this mover component stay a mover component without bricking things, because right now we don't have a camera attached to this. The camera's attached to the player, but the player isn't moving. Player is stationary, so the camera is stationary even though the mover is moving. Simple fix. Actually, pretty simple fix. This no longer a character body 2D. Player and mob and anything that gets the mover component is now a character body 2D. But we're not going to make them a direct character body 2D. We're going to make them an actor. We're going to make the actor a character body 2D, and then player and whatever, they just inherit that. Great. I think there's no real downside to that, because all of the movement logic will be in the mover. This motion mode will be set on the actor level, but that's okay. Collision safe margin. I did not know that was a thing. Moving platform. We don't have moving platforms. That's not this kind of game. So I did also do some navigation region stuff. We'll get to that when we get to that. And then also this component right here, we're gonna move that to the UI layer here. Finally detach that from the camera, or attach it to the camera, actually. We'll be able to move this around. This is the health bar. I think off stream I'm going to try and work on the UI a little to make it less jank. That's going to be done off stream, because I don't particularly like. It's trial and error, and I just want to do that off stream. So I gave myself a list of things to do, and I tried to be as explicit as possible so that I don't have to think very hard today, because I am kind of slow. So I'm going to move this onto the other monitor, and then we're going to get going. All right, so we're changing the mob and the player to our character body 2D. The way we're going to do that is we're going to create script actor. Okay, I don't know if there's a way to make that something that shows up here in the thing up here. So like I can't be like, we can get rid of this for now. I can't be like, hello, I'm a player. My type is actor. That's not a thing. Can't do it. We can't extend actor. Why? I could not find base class actor. Ah, that's the problem. Why isn't it changing color? Don't worry about it. This now works. Can we change type to actor? Oh, we can. Oh, that's amazing. Excellent. Change. Yeah. No, great. What's this? This node has no shape, so it can't collide or interact with other objects. Oh my gosh, it's right there. Really? Can I just hope that it'll catch? Don't worry about it. Change type actor. Change. All right. Combat component. We don't need you. I wish there was a way to like sort these and collapse them. I don't need this right now. Close this. Okay, change the actor object, create the actor object. It's a character body 2D. Make the mob and the player extend actor. We've done that. Change the mover component to a node 2D. Technically, I think we can just make these nodes. I don't think the position matters. It might though, so we're just gonna node 2D. We're going to create a variable parent is an actor. Actor parent equals get parent. Okay, and then I just need to like any variable that is wrong, I need to just add parent.velocity. Parent.move and slide. Is that it? Really? Let's try it out. Oh yeah, right. I was debugging. Some debugging was occurring off stream. All right, we fixed that. The camera works. Mob. The reason we did all this was just to get mobs moving. So mobs now have all of the logic they need to move. They're not moving because we haven't given them a move target, and we need to implement the thinker component, and then the thinker component needs to be, I'm a mob. Where should I be moving? Is there a player nearby? Move to them. Simple think, but we need to do it. Okay, hold on, let me change the mover component to node 2D. We did that. Change the mover component references from self to parent. Okay, we did that. Cool. Done. All right, this next one, create a navigation region. So I've been experimenting with making the pathfinding suck less, and I have failed to make the tile map layer work. The dirt tiles here all have what is it? They have a navigation layer that has been set. We set that in the past, and so as it is right now, every dirt tile is walkable. We can set it up so that these are all like physics objects that you can collide with. I don't know how to make it so that with the tile map layer, the navigation layer does not go through them. I don't know how to do that. But what I've tried to do was I've tried to like shorten these, and then in project settings, there's an option for where's navigation. There it is. You can set like the edge connection distances and the cell size and the link connection radius. I've tried playing around with that to like make this smaller, and then it'll only connect if there's not like an obstacle like in the way. Hey, how's your day going, man? Hey, Misty the lad. It's going not too bad. I'm a little tired, but I thankfully made myself a list of things to do that does not require a lot of thought, so I'm just going through that. Doing this theoretically, and then letting all the tiles link together. Theoretically, that should make the navigation logic a little more robust. But the problem is, when I was doing this, my player was colliding with themselves and just drifting north forever, and I could not figure out why that was happening. So I gave up. I spent like 2 hours trying to figure that one out. Couldn't figure it out. What we're going to do is we're just going to delete this navigation layer completely. Or better than that, we're going to do, and this is like every tutorial ever recommends doing this anyway, so we should have done that to begin with. We're going to create a navigation region. And I did some experimenting with this, and I've discovered that the best way to implement this is to just put all of the tiles, the tile map layers, underneath the navigation region. Does not affect how they work. They'll still work just the same. The ordering matters, but I think I preserve the order. We need to define a navigation polygon. It's very easy. I think there are performance implications for what I'm doing, but there it is. All right. All of the navigation is baked at compile time. I think it's possible to do that at runtime, and I've thought about like, okay, what if we just, instead of drawing a ginormous navigation region, which I'm fine with because we're not procedurally generating any maps, but in the instance that I want to procedurally generate maps, what if we just define a tiny little navigation region around the player and then just pre-bake it every, like when the player moves a certain distance? What is the performance impact of that? And I don't know if that's like a problem. If we only have a limited number of players and they can only move a certain speed. So theoretically, this is like a mathematically achievable goal. We'd have to do the same for monsters, but not really. I will look into that in the instance that we decide that we want to try our hand at procedurally generating content. It is possible that we could also just procedurally generate content, and then we just procedurally generate a navigation region as well. I don't know how to, like, I know how to draw this. I know how to draw. I don't know how to generate with code. Maybe it doesn't matter. Anyway, I gave myself more steps to do than just that. Create a navigation region, put the tile map layers into the navigation region, define the agent radius at 14. Agents, there it is. Define that radius as 14. I gotta type it. Okay, This controls how much width, I guess. I don't know the exact word. The width of the path. The thinner it is, the more the player or mob will stay away from the edges and not get caught on the edges. So by defining this to 14, that is basically the largest we can make it without cutting off this path. Reduce the collision box to 14 or 16. We'll try 16 first, but I think that was a pretty good. Hello, what you making? Dungeon crawler with free movement. It's not entirely free, but kind of. There's no grid. I mean, there's a grid when you're selecting where you're going, but your character does not respect it when they move to that. I'll show you. Let me go to the mover component. We're going to change the collision shape. Y only starts to provide a collision shape to a collision. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. What did I set this to? 16? Did I do it? Yeah, I did it. Okay. This might need to be 14. We're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so now we click here and we move there. Click there. Click there. We're not getting caught on the corners. All right. Maybe 16 is fine. So the target location we give is aligned to a grid, but our character is not locked to a grid. So, yeah. That is not something set in stone either, but that is what we're working with right now. Does the player have an instance of that mover component? Yeah, they do. All players and all mobs, all actors should have a movement component. You know, unless they're not movers, then they wouldn't have that component, but that's okay. I think that was it. Remove navigation layer from the ground tiles. I think I did that already. Yeah, there's no navigation layer anymore. Nice way to reuse code. Yeah, composition. We're trying it this game, as opposed to doing inheritance and then it's all messy and gross. Looks like it's coming together. Good stuff. Thanks. Try to do it with the TML nav layer was running into collision glitches. The player was colliding with nothing. It's no okay. Now we need to move this UI element from the mains UI layer. So this player has this UI element, and I usually do ECS in my custom engines, but I'm still struggling with good patterns in Godot. Yeah, it just takes practice, I think. Yeah, this will not leave this little invisible box, which I'm pretty sure is just the starting box. If I've experimented with this, and if I put this element anywhere but inside this UI layer, it is still trapped in this box. But if I put it in this UI layer, it's all great. So that's what we're gonna do. Take this element, cut it, paste it. We should actually name these. All right, health bar UI element, and then we go into the player, and we've got this little piece of code that's referencing that element. We can still reference that element. I think it's like get node /UI layer health bar. Why am I crazy? Yeah, we'll set this to hide. Actually, I think by default we'll hide it, and then we'll show it. So we'll only see that health bar for actual player. There it is. Now it's where it belongs. Now it can go anywhere it needs to go. Let's just verify that combat still works. Oh, these guys don't have... Oh, right, because I haven't set that up yet. I don't have a mob. I haven't spawned it. Done. Done. All right. So I think what we're going to do for this is we're going to go into main. Func ready. We should have a function that we can call when server starts. On server start, we should not make the map before the server starts. Let me remember where I'd done that. On signal, on server start. Okay. So all we have to do is in main dot on server start dot connect, and then we need to define a function here. Spawn starting mobs. I don't know. Sure. Cannot pass a value of type string. Func spawn starting mobs. Then what we do is we take our map. This feels like this is stage 1 code. That's what, because we're going to want to be able to load multiple maps. We're not just going to be beholden to one map. But for now, map. Let me get in there. Var mob map equals, and this is a tile map layer. Dot, there's like get all cells. One of these is the function. All we have to do is find it. No, there's definitely a get. There's definitely a function. Where is it? Hold on. Let's go into the docs. Get cell alternate tiles. Fix invalid tiles. Get pattern. Get used cells by. Is it get used cells? Yeah, it's get used cells. Okay. Okay. Let's just see what we're working with here. Let's just, for now, give me that script. For mob in mob map dot get used cells, print mob. What are we working with? What is mob? It's just a list of coordinates. And noteworthily, those are not pixel coordinates. So we need to convert those, and there is a function to do that. Var mob spawn equals mob. I have not thought about this hard enough. We're just gonna take this dot instantiate preload. No, it's got to be load at this point because we're about to instantiate it. Am I doing this right? Does load contain a pack scene resource? And then we have to call instantiate on it. should do something like this. So we have a creature now, and then we give it a position. Oh. It's interesting that this is just a coordinates. Is that actually true? This just gets the positions? This doesn't tell me what the cell is? That doesn't seem... That doesn't seem right. What if I want to have more than one mob? Which I do. There's definitely a way to do this. Okay, hold on. Map to local. I know for my Game Jam game, I made a helper function that used map to local and local to map, because remembering how to use those functions was annoying. But maybe I don't need those. I'll look into this later. Let's just stage one for now. Creature position equals mob dot mob map dot map to local mob. By the way, your audio lags your video by about 0.08 seconds. Doesn't matter to me, but just FYI. That's strange. Why would that be? They're on the same output. So like my lips aren't synced to my... Hold on, let me just... No, I'll figure it out later. I need to look into that. I did not know that was happening though. Thanks for letting me know. Weird. I don't know why that would be happening. This doesn't work because I need to add it as a child. We'll just child creature. Right? And then that should do. But we probably need to what did I add? Current creature position. $1320, 184, 584, negative 120. Those look like real positions. I don't see them. Oh, because I'm not spawning them. Right. That's right. I can't do this. I need to use the multiplayer mob spawner. Right. Don't get complacent. We need to call spawn mob. What was I doing here? On server start, spawn a mob. Why isn't this spawning? Why isn't this spawning? Wait a minute. Yeah, we've got these character body 2Ds. We've also got this mob here. What? Oh, okay. They probably all would have been named mob, but the game won't let you do that. So that's probably why they're named this weird, funky thing. We got to give them a proper name. But first, I got to figure out why isn't this guy showing up? Because they should be. There's no reason not for them. We look in the game, we don't see them. They're not. Oh, wait a minute. There's a mob here. But there's no mob here. Hold on, where is this guy? Okay, we're gonna close that. Why are there two of these? Why is this guy here? Hold on, wait a minute. All right. I didn't replace the graphic for mobs. Let's go do that. Oh, wait, no, I can't because I put the graphic in the mover component. Does it make sense to do that? Not really. What if we just take that out? Cut. Put that in the player. And then in the mob, paste that guy, but instead of this, we make a new sprite frame and we add our good friend rogue eye. There we go. No, you're not one big frame. You're 3 frames, actually. How do I do this again? All right, there we go. Server client. Almost correct. Why can't I attack this guy? What have I bungled? Player sprite 2D. This should be like I should have. Test placeholder player. Okay. Well, I mean that works. Now why isn't this clicking on anything? Oh, okay, we can click on the wall tiles. I'm a little concerned that I can't right-click on anything. We can right-click on the tiles. Okay, input handler, what's the deal? We're getting the global mouse position, then we are looking for a collider. Can I click on these? No, that's not a real thing. Can I click on okay? No. Why can I click on tiles but not? Is it because I don't have a physics entity? But I have that. A shape is here. It exists. If I add another shape, collision shape 2D. Actually, what if we just copy this and then put that there? That is not what I meant to copy. Okay. So we can't right click on that. Can't right click on ourselves. Oh, no, we can. The collision is not centered, I guess. Or the sprite is not. It's just a bad sprite. We can forgive the sprite. Transform, no. Okay, so the problem is that this collision shape cannot be a child. That's incredibly annoying, but I don't know. By the way, I would prefer if this was called mover component. So you're telling me because this is 2 levels down, it just doesn't work. This is just useless. That's really annoying, but all right. Just one more thing we have to manage. I was really hoping that this composition thing would actually pay off. Okay, what is this multiplayer synchronizer for? It's for health and max health. What if we put that in the health component instead of the mob? We don't need this because we have one right here. Oh, wait, that's synchronizing the mover position. Wait a minute. I didn't think about that. This can't work. I can't do that. It's possible that I can do it in a script. Let me just Godot multiplayer synchronizer synchronize parent set the root path to the parent node in the inspector, then add the desired. Can't set this any higher because this is the life we've given ourselves. Adjust the root path. Can I adjust the root path in code? Okay. Parent. Does that work? And then can I adjust the replication? Add replication for parent dot position. This is more than I thought it would be. Okay. Optionally passing an index. Okay, has property, get property. And okay, so what we could do is we can just remove this thing by default. It doesn't do anything. And then we'll set the property to be replicated. Has property, add property. How do we set the replication mode? Set replication mode. Okay. Okay, so multiplayer synchronizer dot root path is equal to parent multiplayer synchronizer dot replication config equals var replication config equals scene replication config dot new replication config equals add add property parent dot position replication config dot set what was it property set replication mode. Node path parent on change. There we go. Invalid argument for add property. Argument 1 should be node path, but it's vector 2. What is a node path? Dot 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 slash position. Does that work? I don't feel like that works. That feels wrong. That feels like it's going to be an error. Let's go ahead and get our multiplayer synchronizer. Why am I not looking at it? There we go. Let's just blank this. Okay. Root path with value of type character body 2D. Maybe we should just dot dot. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I see it moving on the server. Yeah, that means this is wrong. All right, hold on. Server... client. Okay, let's look at what we've done. Let's look at your multiplayer synchronizer. The root path is ... That's unfortunately the mover, not the thing we wanted. So actually I wanted ... /... Okay. Hello? Something not right. Okay, hold on. What? How does this window still exist? That shouldn't be. Feels like a Godot bug. Okay, so we go over here and we have not spawned a player at all. Interesting. But if we look at the server, we absolutely have spawned players. They're just not replicating. Who are you set to? Root path is ... /... Okay, that doesn't... Is that a thing? Can I do that? Am I trying to do a thing that I'm not, that's like illegal? It's an illegal move? Configure the root path property of the multiplayer synchronizer to point in the node you want to synchronize, even if it's not part of a packed scene. For example, a scene root node using get path and code. Okay, so the thing is, if I just do this, yeah, we still get a player. Now we're not synchronizing, that makes sense, but we get a player. Okay, and then we'll just set that up. Okay, we're still getting a player. But the moment we do this, I'm gonna get some sleep, have a good rest of stream, and good luck debugging. Thanks. Have a good night. Oop, I can't click. Okay, we don't get a player anymore. The moment we set this config, is gone. Why is that? This multiplayer synchronizer should not be that important. Maybe we can rename this to movement synchronizer. Position synchronizer. Just to verify that we're not like clobbering things that we shouldn't be clobbering. Nope. Okay, that was not the problem. Is there something else that I need to be setting? Or could it be that this position synchronizer is getting spawned, but it has no config, so it's getting spawned with no config, and because of that, Godot is just giving up on synchronizing it. It's just like this isn't real. This is fake news. I can't do anything with this. Can I go to the script? could I get the property? I don't need to make this. What if I just get the existing property? What if I just get the existing property instead of making a new property and overwriting? Why am I not doing that? Dot config dot add property. Cut that out. Right, and then we just don't need this at all. Why? We just don't need that. It's just not a thing. That's not real. Invalid function, this function, right. I knew that. I was just testing you, Godot. Making sure that you're a real whatever you are. Didn't work. Okay. What if we don't do this? Okay, what if we just don't do this? All right, so the problem is this. We can't add a property, because if we do, then that's the end of the world. Use the replication config to define which properties should desync. The node with the multiplayer synchronizer should usually be owned by the server or the peering control. Use an RPC to notify other peers of the node's existence, followed by the multiplayer synchronizer managing the property updates. Okay, and if we look at the remote, we can see there. You know what? Just to make debugging a little easier, I'm just going to only make 2 instances. We got our server and we got our client. Now let's take a look. We have our player. Here they are, and they have a multiplayer synchronizer. Why do they have a multiplayer synchronizer here? Shouldn't that be in the mover? What is this even doing? Is the problem that I have 2 synchronizers and they're fighting? Is that the problem? This has its path. The path is wrong. That is not the correct path. Okay, what if we go to... Why does it say there's 3 sessions? There are not. Oh, I was looking at the wrong thing. Root path. That could be correct. That could be correct. Let's check over here. That could be correct. Is there any way to see what the properties are? I'm guessing no. What do I have in the player? What is this doing? Can we just, for now, move this into the health component? It's actually fine to do that because all of the properties we need to touch are here. Rename health synchronizer. Okay. So we have this guy, and this is, I mean, it looks correct. Oh, we haven't added the position. Right. Add property position. That is a thing, right? I don't have to do like ... /... position, right? Let me check. Add the property identified by the given path. Node path built-in variable represents a path to a node. Oh, am I doing this wrong? Do I need to add a colon to indicate that this is actually a position? So like that. Do I need to do that? Oh yeah. Why are you moving? You should not be moving. Also, why do you exist? Oh, I did it. I targeted a dude. I'm not hitting them. Oh, I'm hitting that one. Yeah, yeah. Why can I move through you? One mystery at a time. Oh, I'm hitting that one. Okay. Okay, so one mystery solved. I think we can do this as well. We just didn't have the colon, and not having the colon really confused the hell out of Godot. Godot was like, I'm not even going to spawn players anymore. Nothing you said made sense. Why is that mob going? Why? Wait. Hold on. Why did that happen? I just kind of glitched there for a second. That's weird. Okay. There's just two mobs here, and one of them is right there. Weird. A little confused. I think I would like to do is not have this here. I would like to have this in the mover component. Is there any way for me to do that? Could I collision shape character body 2D collision shape in child? If I make this an area 2D, does that fix that? Just out of curiosity. Area 2D. Oh, now we need a collision shape to be complete. We're feeling a little under collisioned. All right, does that extend? No, it doesn't. That's not how this works. And we can't be like, hey, I have a collision shape. Let me pass that up for you. That's annoying. I can't. All right. Put you in there, and then we're back. Okay. Don't need this to have editable children. Do I? And I don't need this on the mob anymore. We just don't need that. That's in the health component now. Great. We can simplify that a little. Hmm. Okay. So we don't need to spawn this mob anymore in the thing. Yes, the thing, of course. No, the multiplayer spawner. We don't need this anymore. We'll just pass. Oh, wait, hold on. Wrong function. We don't need this anymore. Pass. We're just going to call spawn mob. But I need that function to be able to take in a position. Position param is a vector 2. If we're not the server, return. All right, generate a mob. We'll need to expand this out, but server, this is stage 1. Mob name is equal to get mob ID, get node spawn path. Where's spawn path? Call deferred. Where is this? Multiplayer spawner.spawn path. Path to the spawn route. Oh, it's this variable. Okay. Oh, that's telling what node to attach it to. Yeah, add child makes sense. Okay, but we also need to mob.position equals post param. All right, that's it. Let's go ahead, go back to main. We're going to go ahead and call we don't need to do this. We don't need to do any of this. All we need to do is net multiplayer mob spawner dot spawn mob, pass this in, and we're done. Yeah, we don't need any of that. All right. So this should spawn a mob on every dude, and then they should all immediately go to 0-0, as is their birthright, I guess. I don't understand that. Maybe we should add a thing in the mob on ready, set your target loc to, because that's being, actually that should be set in the movement component, huh? Because we have a target loc and that defaults to 0. That's the problem. We should set that to our current position. Or we should just not set it at all. What if we do that? Does this break anything? Can I not be clumsy today, please? Nope, they're still going to 0-0 for some reason. All right. Go back to the mover component. We'll keep that. So when we're spawning this guy, their position isn't set yet. Ready could be called before our position is set. Like let's test that theory. Print position, parent dot position. Wait. No, that's correct. 0, 0, 3, 1, 2, 3, some stuff. Hold on. Where am I printing that? I have too many print lines. Let's start zapping prints. All right, that one I need. Parent position is that can stay. This can all stay. That can stay. This can stay. That can be commented out for now because it's working. Okay, that's all the prints. So we press service. Okay, that is giving us the correct parent position. And then it's giving us even more. These are probably just instantiated on the client side, and we can ignore those because they're going to disappear. They're going to get synchronized. So we can say movement component. During physics process, if we are not the multiplayer authority, return. So only the server should be moving us. So maybe what we can do is we can just say target loc equals parent dot position. That looks like that did it. I'm surprised that works. That feels like that shouldn't work, but I'm not going to complain. All right, now we're attacking this guy. Great. Something a little weird about the hitbugs says I should be in range. Isn't my range? Okay. I need to fix the player hitbox. 100%. That needs to be better aligned. I think the mob one has the same thing. No, why is the mob one correct? Really goofed this one up. It's not centered, despite the fact that it looks like it should be. Maybe just leave that alone. Okay. That's not ideal, but whatever. I do need to get better graphics. Slap them in. This is holding me back. Wait, why isn't this... Why isn't this guy taking damage? I'll try this one. Target on the 2 mob. Why isn't that guy taking damage? I thought this was just working. I thought it would just work, TN. Oh no. The health isn't synchronizing. Are they taking damage on the server? Let's check. Give me the server. Why are there 3 sessions? Oh, node health component health not found. Okay. Hold the phone, hold the phone, hold the phone. What the heck? No, it should exist. Like, yeah. That should exist. Wait. Is it actually not working? I can't. Oh, no, it's working now. Okay, that was the problem. I just needed to do something with the health spawner. I don't know what the problem was. Anyway, that works now. Hey, you know what? Let's implement on death. We've got this health component. We emit the signal on death. Let's make it do something. Let's go to our mob. Func ready. Get our health component dot on death dot connect on death. Func on death. What do we do? Godot. Delete. Use queue free on the authority. Okay. If we're the authority, that does not. If we're not the authority, return. So queue free. Okay. Does this work, or will this create a hole in my game? I wonder if I should skip making the inventory and just work on making combat look less dumb. It's precise. It's only in terms of my mental desire to keep coding. Like if combat looks better, maybe that'll encourage me more to write code, as opposed to like I'm just staring at a progress bar get shorter and shorter until it just no pump, nothing. I need a little sound effect to give me a little hit of dopamine to keep going. I like that they're dying though. That is like sure. Thought that would bug out. I honestly thought that would fail. So the fact that it's working, hey, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take the W. As far as my to-do list, Done. What does this mean? Let's hold on. Let's go try with 3 instances. Can we clear out the mobs twice as fast if we double up? Gosh, I hope so. Oh no. I mean, we are killing it twice as fast. And it's dead. All right. I like the lighting. I don't like that it stacks. I wonder if there's a way to make that not the case. I guess it's not the end of the world if it stacks. What I would like to do is... This works. Yay. What I would like to do is have day-night. And I wonder... Yeah, multiple sources of light kind of makes this look funky. Okay. I don't know why I'm doing this. This is entirely just, I just want to watch the bar go down. I need to polish this icon away. That is getting in my way now. And I should polish this health bar. Let me leave that as a note for me to do off stream. Do you get to control the light with a shader or something? It's a point light. I don't know if that... I'm not using a shader, no. The light is a point light right here. It's just a texture, actually. Yeah, it's not a shader. I shouldn't say that because I don't actually know. I'm just setting the color black on everything, and then I've got a point light here which applies this, and through the miracle of Godot's lighting magic, there it is. What you see on screen is what happens. It's cool that the multiplayer works so early. Yeah, I mean this whole game is just an excuse for me to learn multiplayer, high level multiplayer for Godot. So that's been my priority because, well, if I can't get that working, then this game doesn't work. There's no game. The rest of the code that we need to write, I've proven that I can do that already with the previous game that we wrote, the one we wrote last month. So the fact that we're here at this point, there's no... This is the biggest hurdle that I was expecting. And I think I'm going to give myself license to work on the basic inventory now. But let me leave some notes. So, not like that. Sure, whatever. Update, movement, icon, update, health, bars. I should have an attack target icon as well. Also have an attack target. I think that will be valuable. It might even be helpful to have like a highlight the collision box button that I will actually have in the game, not just as like a debug, but that I don't think I want to do off stream. I would do that on stream. A button to highlight collision boxes of actors. Basic inventory now. Okay, so this is mainly a exercise in UI, and we don't have a UI to do right now. So let's just get as far as we can get. All players have an inventory. Maybe we want to have an inventory component. Sure. Our inventory component is going to define a few things. It's going to define some stats, like inventory stats. Like you can only carry so much. It's also going to define some slots for items to go in. And then let's just start there. Okay, I need a new scene. This is not how you define a new scene. Other node. No, node 2D? Do we want a node 2D? All of the other components are node 2Ds, so why not this one? I think there's a reason not to make everything in a node 2D because a node 2D is more expensive than a node. But I did it. Inventory component. Anything that can hold other items gets an inventory component. And the inventory component is going to have a script, 100%. We're not going to name it that. We're going to name it inventory component. How do I rename? Also going to save this scene. Okay. Can work with that. Can I just, before we proceed, move the mob and the player into the base folder? That's not going to break anything, right? Oh no, it broke everything. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this guy to base mob. This preload doesn't exist. I think it does. Oh, source space. Make sure that a mob is spawned. Yeah, okay. Everything else works as planned. Back to making the inventory component. This seems like the kind of thing that we would want to have automatically hook into like the health component and say health component on death. Let me know, because I'm gonna call the drop everything function. But to do hook into health component. What do I need this to do? I need this to It might have been smarter to make an item first before making an inventory, because I don't have items, and what do I want? I want I don't know. Let me start from the UI instead. Okay, we have a UI element. So what if we create an inventory box in main? Damn it. Why are these separate? Okay, and this needs to have editable children. We're going to put something here. Maybe a box. Color rect. Yeah, right there. Nope, right there. We're a color rect. We don't get to decide our size? Why is this this size? It should be at least this size. I think I was supposed to write a script at some point to figure that out. I think I gave myself that task. Okay, why are you... Why? Size 32. Thank you. I don't know, let's make this that color. What is this? How dumb does this look? It'd be nice if we could just tell this go in the right corner. Placeholder. Inv. Okay. Yeah, before I work on this further, I'm going to, first of all, we're going to move this whole thing. Can I move this whole thing? Move? Is that not a transform? Can we position 500? Isn't there like a put in corner button? Could have sworn there was. 200 by 200. Okay. Okay. Oh, what happens if I just wander off? I never actually tested this. I assumed theoretically that like... yeah, here we go. Okay, so it just will straight up not navigate off of the navigation rectangle. It's fine. What I'm gonna do now at this point is implement a new item. Let's turn this off. Oh, cool. I'm gonna put an item, I guess, here. What is the item? We'll check our art. I have nothing that could be an item. Maybe this brick. I don't know what that is supposed to be. That's me attempting to learn how to art. And we will make a new thing. Create new scene. Item. And an item does not have a health component. It does not have a mover component. I wish this didn't have an underscore. Okay. Item. What do I want this to do? Okay, so it needs to have a sprite. And that sprite needs to exist. I could use the Godot icon. That's perfectly fine. This needs to be small. Is there a way to scale this with pixels? Like make this 32 by 32. I don't know how many pixels this is. It's 128 by 128. I'd need that to be a quarter the size. Okay. The item needs to be synchronized, so we'll make a... Oh, I guess, you know, this position synchronizer, it makes more sense for that to be outside of the mover component. That's a headache. Maybe what we can do is we can say the mover component, if we are attached to a character body 2D, then we enable all this functionality. Otherwise, we don't. But we still have no. Shoot. Shoot. I mean, this needs a synchronizer because this has a position and it needs to be updated. This doesn't move on its own accord, but presumably someone can pick it up. Didn't think about that. I'm gonna have to contemplate how I'm going to refactor this. It's possible that we just create like a position component and then we put the position synchronizer in there. And then that's just separate from the mover component. That's kind of gross. But like basically everything in this game is going to have a position, so not everything is going to move, so we're going to have to do that. So mover and position will have to be separated out. But for now, just to get this working, we'll have a multiplayer synchronizer. It needs to synchronize not item health. Where did that come from? Oh, it came from what I've already written there. Okay, position. And that's kind of it. Now we just need to spawn this thing in the world. We'll go to our main. Save this. Actually, we could just, for now, put the item into our game like so. Where is it? Why do I not see it? Is it because it's there, not down there? Hello, game? Where's my sprite? Oh, I didn't save it. That's the problem. There we go. Okay. Yes, it's fine. So we have an item. It exists. We can't right click on it. That's good. We're not supposed to. I would like to be able to right click on it to say like item dot get. And then it'll go in our inventory component, and I don't know, we'll have it show up on the UI, and then we can do stuff with it. So let's make the ability to right click on it. Let's go to our inventory handler. Sorry, our input handler. Our handlers here. Input handler. All right. So we've right clicked on a bunch of stuff. What do we get when we right click on this? Because maybe we need to be more contextual about what we're right clicking on. Okay, target on wall tiles. So we've targeted the wall tiles, and that shouldn't happen. This doesn't exist. We can only right click on things that have collision. Let me see this. Intersect point. Oh no. Okay. Okay. Come on. Come on. I can only right click on things that have collision. You're going to make me add a collision box to this thing? I'll do it. We'll put it on channel 2 so that nothing collides into it, but we might need to do that anyway. There might be a reason for doing that other than this. Let's try it. Item collision box. Wait a minute. Where do I set the channel? If there's no channel, is it even a collision box? Can I go through it? Okay. Can I right click on it? Nope. Okay, it doesn't exist. That didn't do anything. All right. What if I set this to an area 2D? That's silly though, right? How do I get world 2D? Gets me a direct, and this has a variable direct space state. I guess there is an open question of like, how does the game know when I'm right clicking on this item? It has a position, but that's like a pixel. Does it count clicking the sprite? Is there a way for me to say, hey, give me the sprites of everything. Which sprite am I clicking on? I wouldn't mind living in that world. I don't. This function is too complicated. Give me direct space state. Use for querying current and potential collisions. Oh. I should have thought about this. What if I want to click on something that is not a collision? Godot raycast. Catch things without collisions. collide with areas. Ensure the target objects are on a collision layer included in the raycast mask and set enabled to true. So we could make this an area 2D. And then it will be queryable. I would like to be able to like right click on the ground. I don't want to make every tile a area 2D. Could I do something where it's like signal? Does this have a signal when right clicked on? Godot detect when object is clicked. Not collision. Not collision. Use an area 2D node with input pickable enabled. Make area 2D over the whole canvas. Project down into find the tile. Maybe. Emit a signal like player clicked on this and have the player manage check what it's clicking on. Okay. Make it a button. Oh yeah. Put a button over the entire world. I guess there is a question. How much more performance do area 2D objects cost versus node 2D objects? Because I think every tile is a node 2D. So, I mean, it's not a node 2D, it's a tile, but tiles that we have one and not n may interfere with other click catching. Godot tile map layer. I believe tiles are a subset of node 2D. No, it's just a subset of object. Okay. Never mind. It's okay though. There might be. Does the tile map layer? The tile map layer is a node 2D. Never mind. I was like, is the tile map layer an area 2D? Because then I could just right click on that. Godot click on tile in tile map layer. Use the unhandled input function. Place an area 2D with a collision shape 2D over your tile map if you need collision-based detection. Connect the input event signal to the tile map. Input event signal? What? That's not a signal. Are we hallucinating? Hold on. Okay, that's not a thing. 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 Okay, great. A+. I'll just need to think about that. But we can solve this just by changing it to area 2D. Can we just set this to no layer and then it's fine because it'll still catch input pickable. That is actually what I want. I would like this to be pickable input. No, it's got to be more than that. We probably still need to add a collision box. Collision shape. And the collision shape is... 32, 32. That we should see that is aligned. Damn it. Okay. Fine. If I set it to 1, is it going to work? No? Oh, it's okay. It's not only does it not work, but the collision doesn't work either. Disable mode, remove. Input pickable. What signals does this have? This does have a mouse. This does have an input event. So when we right click on it, it will, we could just say input handler, I got this. I'll take care of that. No, we shouldn't do that. Or should we? No. No. Wait a minute. How do I set this up so that this input handler is the last input handler, and like every other object, if an input event happens, that object should get the chance to say, I got this. If I can do that, maybe I can move all of this logic out into the, into the player and the mob. If you right click on a player, target attack command on that player. If you right click on a mob, target attack command on that mob. Not terrible. Is there a way to set that up though? Because if there isn't, I don't want to just play fast and loose. That's going to take research. I got to look up. There's so much I don't know. Don't worry about that. Let's just focus on this one problem. The item. How do we make it pickable? What am I missing? Good old bubble versus capture and stop propagation. And there's pros and cons, and I don't know. I just don't know. All right, does intersect point take in... How am I defining what channel I'm listening to? Okay, I want this item to be blockable. I want this item to be a physics object. How do I do that? It's an area, right? It's on the collision layer that this is also on. So they should collide. And we're here, right? What does disable mode even mean? Defines the behavior in physics when process mode is set to process mode. Okay. The area detects bodies or areas entering and exiting it. Oh, okay. Because this is an area 2D, it's probably set up to be like, I don't cause collisions. Node 2D. Let's check out the collision. Isn't collision shape, collision object, that's what I want. Static body. Rigid body. Let's go with static body. All right. Okay, so we can click on it now. And also, we can't walk through it. Okay. And if we, you know, switch to a different channel, okay, we can move through it. We can still right click on it. Okay, so maybe that's all we got to do. What if we're not on a channel at all? What if we just don't believe in that? That's not our life. We can't click on it anymore. Okay, so it has to be on a channel. That does mean that we're setting ourselves up so that multiple items cannot be in the same. No, they can, because we can just move them around with the position. This feels like not the best way to do what we're trying to do. This feels wrong. Like this is going to be non-performant. For whatever reason. There's got to be a better way. Maybe there is an object type that's like, I can be clicked on. I am a thing that exists to be clicked on. Like one of these, like clickable 2D, path 2D, remote transform 2D, raycast 2D. Touch screen button, visible on-screen notifier 2D. Like if there was a way to say like, okay, I exist to be clicked on. I exist to be interacted with by a mouse. Maybe not. Where did node 2D go? Oh, it's under canvas item. Okay. Yeah. Audio listener, collision object. I mean, we're a static body. Okay. Okay. We have an input event. So future me, let's look into input event priority. Maybe we decentralize the right click. Maybe not though. It might be better to just right click creates a context menu. Because it's very likely that when we right click on something, we're gonna want to have options of what we do, not beyond just like enemy, right click to attack. Item, right click to item. Like maybe we want like right click to get or right click to open, or maybe enemy, right click to attack or right click to cast a spell at or I don't know, look at. Maybe we don't want to override that. And if that's the case, this needs to be a static body. That needs to happen in the input handler, and then the input handler needs to be smart enough to generate that menu. Yeah. Okay, anyway. I would like to be able to right click on this to get it. So let's make the input handler print out a move item command. So we can say if this is an item and we need to make an item class, because I can do is type static body 2D. If collider is actor, elif collider is static body 2D, which it'd be better to make that like object. No, we can't say the word object. Prop is a good word. Is prop, then let's just print get on collider. If prop, then get it. You right clicked on it, add it to the inventory. Yeah, that works. And we can still target the mob. I want getting it to move it to this window. I can't click the button. There we go. Can we just like poof it in here? How did I do that before? I've done that before. I did that before for Game Jam, for Martian Crawl, where like you get the item and the item actually goes into a specific slot on the UI. How did I do that? Is there a way to hide the navigation region? Yeah, thank you. First of all, we can make this color rect like black. We will define a canvas region. I mean, honestly, we could just define a node 2D. Inventory point. Where is it? Is that it? To put the item in our inventory, we need to move it to inventory. We need to make it a child of inventory point and set its position to 0. And then we'll have the inventory component own it. But not own it in the sense that like parent it, because it's going to get parented to the UI. I need to plan this out more. I've given myself a lot of homework, which I can't stream until I do it. So what might end up happening is the next couple of streams are me working on Martian Crawl, making a 2.0 version of that. That is, I've always planned to do that. I'm going to do it. maybe that will do that. While I figure out the basics of what an inventory will do. I don't know. Can we put this here? When we get this, let's put it here for now. And then when I have a better idea of what I want, we'll flesh that out more. So this isn't even stage 1. This is stage 0. Go to our input handler. Let's create a command. Our command equals move item command. Let's go move prop command. Dot new player collider. Why did I call it player? Oh, that's us. Player is us. So the command is the owner of the command, and then let's go with get prop command. Get item command. Okay, now let's make that command real. Get item command. Extends command. Class name get. Is that right? That doesn't feel right. That feels right. Okay. And then we go in here and we look and we see some things and we'll just copy them. Actor, target. Sure. Now, okay, so we can actually improve these a little. The actor, we now know it's an actor. And the target is also an actor. And for the target move command, this is an actor. Anyway, we've got this command. We can take it, give it to the main to handle. Main.process command. We'll go to main. Elif command param is get item command. RPC handler dot move item dot RPC ID 1 command param target name. Oh, that means this needs to be spawned and synchronized. That's right. Don't I already have a synchronizer? I do. So it didn't. Maybe I don't need to do anything then. Maybe this is already magically going to sort itself out. Yeah, magically maybe multiplayer will just work. I don't have to do anything. Yeah, huh? I'm the best. Best coder that ever lived. Definitely not a fantasy. Any peer. Yeah, that's func. Move item. Target ID is that. This item should have been registered with the object handler. Then we could get it. Let's just, for now. Can I do this? No. How do I get this specific item from my RPC handler? We can go into the object handler, get main. The input handler dot main dot item. And then we can get the player node, but the item isn't going in the player node, it's going in here. Maybe it should go in the player node. Maybe it should be parented to the inventory component. And then, is there a way to like duplicate the item over to here? There might be. That could be something that the inventory handler handles. We can say, am I a player? Am I connected to a player? If so, I should reflect my inventory in the inventory UI. And if I'm not, then don't bother reflecting anything and just put things in an inventory component and move on with your life. Whatever. This is just stage 0. I'm just making this work. We're gonna get the player node. No, we're not. We're gonna go ahead and UI layer. UI layer dot inventory UI element dot vbox container dot color rect dot add child target. Oh, and then we need to set the position to 0. Target dot position equals vector dot 0. Sorry, vector 2.0. Where's the world? Oh, I hid the navigation rect. I guess that hides the world. All right. Instantly crash. Invalid access to property or key item on a base object of type node. Well, it has an item. Are we pretending it doesn't have an item? Are we pretending that? Like, no, it has, there, an item exists. It's here. Am I doing this wrong? Like, I know it's not a property, but like there's an object here called item. Can I just get node root main game? item. Can I do that, please? Oh, that worked. Okay. Yeah, for whatever reason, this is wrong. Get node. Root game UI layer inventory. Oh, well, no, that's right. Actually, just kidding. I take my O back. Dot add child. Okay, that should do. That should be. Well, that's almost right. It did reset its position to 0, 0, but it did not add it. Uh-oh. Invalid access to property or key size on a base object of type node 2D. What? Is this broken? Oh, it's because this is a child of this. Oh, no, it isn't. That was just broken. Invalid access to property or key size on a base object of type node 2D. What are we accessing? What are we freaking out about? Inventory point. Oh, is it because I can't have node 2Ds in here? Is that the problem? My bad. Make this a control. I don't care. There we go. All right. Let's go ahead and add that. Does this make this freak out? It doesn't. Okay, but it also didn't add this. I think we need to like remove parent. This probably failed because add child just does nothing if this thing already has a parent. Nodes can have any number of children, but every child must have a unique name. Child nodes are automatically deleted when the parent node is deleted. Okay, if force mutable name, if node already has a parent, this mail will fail. Remove child. First, remove the node from its current parent. Child node.get parent. Okay, let's do that. Target.get parent.remove child. Target. All right, I would like to pick this up. Attempt call function get parent on base null instance on a null instance. Big if true. All right, is it in here? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How do I make this not? Oh, I broke my interface. I broke it. Can I not double click on that for now? I just need to spend like a weekend, not this weekend, a weekend making my interface. I already did that. I already spent a weekend making this, but I need to spend another weekend. Why is it there? and not here. Let's go to the remote and see where it actually is. No, it's still there. It's probably just not being synchronized. That's probably what's going on. This is probably in the right position on the server. In fact, let me actually, because I'm not looking at the server. If I right click on this, oh look, yeah, it's on the right spot, but only on the server. How do we synchronize this thing's node position? So we have the item. The synchronizer synchronizes properties. Is this the kind of thing where if we spawn it with a spawner, then that automatically takes care of itself? What other magic is this doing for us? Multiplayer spawner. What are you doing for us? Godot. Multiplayer spawner. All right. This might be the kind of thing where we can't move nodes around without setting up a whole RPC to tell all the clients, by the way, I moved this node. I don't want to do that because it's messy. That means that every player knows every other player's inventory at all times. And I would rather that not be the case. But it's fine that the server knows, but I'd rather the clients not know. I'll have to think about how to do that. Think about item parenting in a world where that's not synchronized. Or maybe it is with the right config. Oh, all right. Well, we're pretty productive. So this was a successful day. It feels weird leaving off in a state where we have an item, but we can't do anything with it. And it breaks our game if we pick it up. But awkward. Give it a second to reconnect. I'll just drink some water.
I have internet.
I don't know what that means. You can save a lot of time connecting everyone to streams and then allowing your game's speed on top by slowing it down from near real time. Yeah, I don't know. But I will look into it. Let me stop here. Another game jam. Okay. This looks cool. Why not? All right, folks. Well, that is it for me. The next stream will be probably Martian Crawl, unless I make like a huge breakthrough in the stuff that I'm reading / watching YouTube videos of. So thanks for watching, y'all. Hope you had a good time. Make your games. See you all next time.